안녕, 나는 재민이야. 반가워. I tell my friends that because I'm staying here for 8 months, I feel like I'm a half Singaporean and half Korean, but that's a completely lie. I'm a perfect Korean. I'll tell you about the university student life yeah, in Korea because in Korea many students in university are quite enthusiastic, so there are a lot of well-developed night cultures and we play a lot, we drink a lot, and we are not kiasu, we don't study a lot, but in Singapore I feel that there's too kiasu and they study too much, and so that's okay. I don't care whether they study a lot or not, but it's just that they're so competitive and they don't care about others around them sometimes. But anyway, so what I hope you guys to do is that to be more generous to others and to care more about your neighbors and have a lot of chance to do what you want to do. So yeah.
I feel like I'm Cambodian, but I do know that culturally I'm not fully Cambodian anymore because the accent of my Cambodian has changed quite a bit. Like when I go back home, people will ask, "Oh, how long have you been in Cambodia? You speak so good." Yeah, so they confuse me as an expatriate. យុវជននៅប្រទេសសិង្ហបុរីត្រូវមានភាពសប្បាយរីករាយមិនគួររៀនច្រើនហួសពេកត្រូវមានពេលសប្បាយខ្លះ A lot of youths nowadays like they're passionate about community engagement and actually pursue a lot of hobbies. Yeah, the youths nowadays here in Singapore there's a more vibrant culture, and I think the future image of Singapore can really change well. Yeah.
How serious things are taken here. Like, even the most minor of details, like for in the dining hall, for example, having 2 apples instead of 1 is like, it's like code red when something bad happens. Most people here, I don't even think have experienced as much as I have being here, and they've lived here for years and years and years just because work is so important and making money is so important and having a good job is so important that being young and being free and being able to do whatever you want, it just seems to like not be a priority.
I want to talk about a bit of coffee here. When I arrived to Singapore, I drink coffee. I don't think it's coffee. I just smell a bit it's coffee. In Vietnam, we make it very, 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 very strong. But in Singapore, you put a lot of water and cream and sugar, everything there. So it affects the taste of the coffee. But so in my country, they usually drink the strong coffee and sweet coffee. And in Singapore, you drink a different coffee.
People from my country are much more laid back. They don't worry as much. And there isn't the sense of competitiveness everywhere. I guess that's part of the reason why Singapore and Hong Kong are so advanced, because you need that sense of competitiveness to get forward in life, I suppose.
The culture back home, I would say it's a mixture of Indian culture, African culture, and Chinese culture, because basically we were all immigrants who came during British colonial times. So yeah, it's a mixture of all this culture that gives us our unique perspective.
I think overall the Burmese people are quite friendly and also quite contented with what they have. Yeah, but I think the bad point of Burmese people is that they are quite conservative. အားလုံးမင်္ဂလာပါကျွန်မနာမည်ကတော့တနည်းလို့ခေါ်ပါတယ်
I chose to come to Singapore to come to Asia and live in a country that's governed by laws very different from the ones I'm used to.
Many people might have a wrong impression about Sri Lanka and Sri Lankans, especially after the end of a brutal civil war, which lasted for like 30 years, really devastated our country. So I'd say, it's all is well right now, and people are more. I mean, we actually encourage people to come to Sri Lanka actually and come and check it out for yourself. And everyone says that we are a bunch of nice people.
I think I went to like 7 different international schools, and some of them were Australian based, some were American based, and some were British based. So each time I moved to a different school, I made a lot of different friends from different nationalities, and I guess I picked up a bit of culture from each city and from different people that I interacted with. Generally, I still identify myself as being from Hong Kong or being Chinese. I think at an international school, even though you pick up a bit of culture from other people, they also want you to emphasize your own culture. And like for International Day, I always pick Hong Kong. So I always say like, oh, I eat dim sum or whatever. So that's the main identity that I identify with.
So we tend to internalize elements from the Western culture, and the Westerners tend to internalize elements from the Asian culture. Both cultures try to take the best from each other and move towards a more global identity. So yeah, I'm all for that, and I wouldn't say I identify with any particular culture as well. And yeah, I think that's what most of my friends will tell you, that I'm not a very Indian, and yeah, I don't do the head shake, or I don't have the Indian accent when I speak. But I'm pretty fluent in Hindi as well, and Punjabi.
I don't know, yeah, who I am is just shaped by all the different people that I've met. And like, I believe that when you meet people, they like, even if it's just a really small, short amount of time, like they contribute something to who you are. And then each of those little things that you like interact with or experience, that just shapes you. And it just molds every facet of your being. And so like you're constantly changing and nothing is ever the same. So to identify with a certain culture to me just doesn't make any sense. And I guess my identity is expressed mostly through the way that I dress and through my tattoos. A lot of it's either I draw it myself, or I have other people like contribute and like help me draw it and then tattoo it onto myself. And then most of it's through my jewelry, which is mostly handmade or gifts from people that have just traveled other places like Brazil and like given it to me, and I wear them all the time.
It was tough for me initially, my first few years, my first few months, and I've been here 3 years, so my first year basically. It was tough because I think the people are different from what I met, what I've been used to, both in Cuba and Nigeria, because back home and in Cuba, people are more open, they talk to you, you know. Singapore people are just very quiet, they don't say anything. And even if you say hi at times, you know, they look shocked for you saying hi to them. You know. So it was very tough for me the first year because no one was talking to me basically. You know, it was a very lonely time for me. It's 3 years since then. I think I'm getting used to the culture, the people here. Here in Cap, I must say, I really love the experiences here. I mean, I'm saying it because I mean it. I stay on the 10th floor. And I think they're very, very, I mean, after I came to this place, I had to change my opinions about Singaporeans, yeah, honestly speaking, because I met very friendly, very warm people.